Did you guys call yourself Copyright Claim because you were worried that people would steal your music?
There are like a few different aspects to it. One of it is, me personally, and I think everyone else here thinks that most things aren't truly original. So like whenever you make a song or write something, like you're always taking something from someone else. Like either a whole idea or like little snippets here and there, you know? And that's not necessarily a bad thing, it just means that everything's kind of shared and everything gets passed on in a way that's never truly original. Another comment on it is just like the absurdity of the U.S. copyright laws. How like you can create something and then 70 years, 100 years later, your family can still like profit off of that and make money. And then you still have like armies of lawyers and attorneys that go after you in any certain way to like squeeze every cent out of you if you try to use that in any way. And then in a more personal way, like as part of my PhD work, I had to like publish a certain amount of papers and like put them in journals and get them out there. So that's my work. That's stuff that like I had written up and I did the research on and went through the whole process of. And at one point I had posted something online on like this website that people in my field use, and I got contacted by a lawyer from the publishing company saying like, hey, this is against copyright terms, like you can't post that on there, please take it off, or like we're gonna delete your account and we're gonna go after you, you know? And so at that point I'm like, I just got like a copyright strike on my own work, so let's make a band out of it.
So I heard you guys met through r/Tallahassee on Reddit. Were you ever worried that when you met up that might have been the last night you were alive?
Oh my god.
They all were. We practice in my storage space that is out on Capitol Circle in Bluntstown.
Oh.
And it's run by a fantastic security guard that just rides around in his golf cart. He, you know, he's the one always like waiting by the gate and everything, and so they probably thought like, this is pretty weird, you gotta go in, you gotta turn a little corner in this place out in the middle of nowhere, and then they all just did it. That was so smart. Like they all just showed up and they're like, yeah, well fine, whatever. I mean, maybe I'll die, but
and it was like individually too, like we each joined like at a different time. Like I responded to a post Alex put on Facebook and he was just like, oh, you're interested, so let's meet tonight 8 p.m. on a Wednesday in the storage unit.
Yes, the danger was even higher because it was just all one by one.
So, you guys like frogs, right? Name 3 frogs right now.
Tree frog, bullfrog.
Oh,
That's 2.
no, Kermit the Frog?
Oh.
No Kermit. So where did the frog theme come from? You might have already answered this with Lindsay in an earlier interview, but just to like refresh everyone's minds.
Dude, was that? I mean, okay, it's like I have some tattoos, but I don't even know if this is where it came from. But like,
I don't
I
know,
don't
like,
feel like it was you.
Yeah, Martin suggested it.
like I'm not from Florida, so like when I moved down here a couple years ago and I saw all these little frogs on my window and like on my back patio, I'm like, fuck, like what's happening? Where did they come from? And then like the more and more that I saw, like they got smaller. I'm like, oh, these things are like actually pretty cute. And then like I couldn't stop thinking about them. Like the frogs were all I thought about. So I brought it to Alex and Susanna, and I'm like, you know, why not? Let's just do a frog. Let's throw a frog on there.
But how would you describe your sound?
Alt rock.
Yeah.
Alt rock.
Alt rock. Yeah.
Nice.
No,
With
that's
jazz,
I've always spoken very strongly about the, you know, when you ask somebody that's very like, especially like, let's say pop punk bands, you ask a pop punk band, you know, what's your genre, and they're like, well, I don't know, you know, it's really like an indefinable sound. You know?
No one's ever heard this before.
Yeah, like,
It's
this
just
is so
really, like,
original.
personal.
No, just call it what you think is the closest to it, because that's what people are gonna call it.
Yeah.
So I think alt
Yeah,
rock.
I think we're pretty standard alt rock.
Yeah, it's pretty good overarching.
But do you have a favorite original that you've written that speaks to you or one of you the most?
Alex Stagnant. That's my
Stagnant.
baby. I wrote it in her apartment.
What is it about?
The words are all
Yeah, usually like the
for
red.
me, I just like, I go off of like what I'm feeling at the moment and just write a chord progression that feels like that.
Nice.
And yeah.
Thank you, Copyright Claim.
Thank you so much.